Welcome, race fans, to another Nerd TV broadcast. This time coming at you live from the simulated Circuit of the Americas, as known as the Echo Park Grand Prix. My name is Jeremy, and we're going to be here for the fifth race of the season of 2023A. And these trucks, first time this year, going to be on a road course. Last year we saw Stephen Allen take home the checker flags here, and we'll see if he can do a repeat here in 2023. Track temps right now, 105 on the track, but only 67 in the air. I don't know how. Only Texas could probably do that for you guys. So I would imagine that track temp's going to cool off as this race does persist, with only being 37 laps long and a stage break at lap 12. A little bit shorter race, and there's no full course cautions. So you guys will only see one Roasted Gems coffee, and that'll be caution. That'll be at lap 12 for that stage break. But my name is Jeremy, and to my right-hand side tonight as well, Mr. Jason. How's it going?
Yeah, man. Wasn't able to make it here last week. Proud to be here tonight. I love road course racing. It's one of my favorite things. I'm not the greatest at it on iRacing, but when I do, I tend to have a blast. One of my favorite things to do on iRacing is take these trucks or any kind of NASCAR stock car and just go run them at my local road course down in South Jersey at New Jersey Motorsports Park. And COTA is a track that I am yet to run on here on the iRacing service. Haven't really had time, but these guys are going to be in for a handful tonight. 20 turns, 3.4 miles long. That is a long way just to complete one lap. You're going to have to manage your tires here tonight. It's going to be really difficult. Really, the key of the race is to just stay on track and complete all the laps.
Yeah, the quickest time on the board are now Talon Smith at number 5, which, if you were watched this past Monday, had a late block in the race and caused a massive wreck. It took a lot of fast cars, and so now you're coming to a road course. You might want to stay away from some of those guys if there's still some heavy feelings just a couple days afterwards. But Talon Smith, 2 minutes 15 seconds is the fastest time, 2:15.20. He's got a second and a half almost over second place Stephen Hollingsworth. So with that kind of speed, he can maybe pull away from those guys a little bit. But you have, like you said, you have to manage that throttle so much. The back of the truck is so lightweight. Getting around some of these sharper corners is so easy to spin those tires. And when you got to go through 16 turns here in 3.5 miles per lap, you can cook those tires off really quick.
Yeah, you absolutely can, Jeremy. And the thing is that I've learned, and I'm going to mention his name again. I mention him every broadcast I did on Monday. My buddy Kenny Brady, the way that he taught me how to drive these road courses was when you want to get into the corner, like let's say heading up the hill, heading into turn 1, a lot of guys are going to see fanning out. But just for example, on a regular run, let's say you're about 5 laps in, everybody's strung out. You want to start to brake a little bit earlier than usual, because if the harder you brake, obviously the more brakes you're going to put on, the more you risk sliding those front tires, and you do not want to slide those front tires, and you definitely don't want to spin the tires off the corners on exit. And the way that you want to try to get off exit is usually you want to not mash the gas, but get on the gas a little bit easier. You want to try to upshift a little bit earlier than usual, so you don't really get those RPMs too high to create more wheel spin. So you're going to see a lot of guys maybe try to do that. Some guys might not be very used to it, but guys like Talon Smith, Stephen Hollingsworth, Richie Coy, I expect them to be very fast. Really, all the guys so far in the top 6 are all in the 2-minute and 17-second bracket. So I'm sure that they got some work put in for them here tonight. So that's really what you're going to have to do if you really want to keep those tires on. Of course, stay on track.
Yeah, it's tough for a lot of these guys because I'm looking at a lot of the times are about 10th on back. You got 218s through 219s all in a big group there, and it just kind of spaces out really. But if you want to get to your Talon Smith time and even Stephen Hollingsworth, who owns the only 2 minute 16-second lap time, you got to find speed. And a lot of these guys are, like you said, they're getting really used to the throttle. Got to protect what you got. But at the same time, you got to find a whole second and then some to contend for the top spot here. So how do you do that? How do you find the speed and manage the tires at the same time?
Well, first, you really want to hit your apexes correctly. And like I just said about saving the tires, that's the perfect way of doing it, is braking early, not really using too much brake, because that's how you're going to save tires in the long run. Sure, you're going to give up a little bit of track position maybe over time, But when it comes time for those tires to really set in and you really want to, get on after it and chase these guys down, lay the bumper down, whatever you got to do to try to gain track position, because we talked about this is a long racetrack. This is going to be a long race. It's going to feel like it's going to take 10 million years to complete for these guys here tonight. You're going to want to make sure you brake early going into the corners late in the runs. Make sure you upshift earlier on exit, and of course stay on track. But you definitely want to make sure you're not going to have contact with people, because the littlest contact here can definitely affect you. And I know they say road course racing, it doesn't really affect when you get hit or anything like that, but I promise you a track like this, it's definitely going to affect you. So really, you just want to keep the nose clean all night.
It's a good points there to if anyone of the drivers out there that are watching us, maybe take some word of advice there. But we're going to go on board here with that number 5, Talon Smith in the Toyota Tundra. He was the fastest at practice by a long shot, so we're going to see what this guy does in qualifying. Let's see if he can match his time or even improve. I know me, I'm usually slow during the race, but I love my qualifying sessions. I usually can get the most out of the truck in that 1 or 2 lap span. So we're going to see the 5 take it around this 16 turn course, really easy. You see him going really wide in the corners here, just not trying to scrub any excess tire wear, not trying to overheat the tires, and do just 1 lap and just go balls to the wall and try to get what you can out of this thing.
Yeah, you really don't want to, use up them tires like you were talking about. You see Talon going really wide in the corners. You see how easy he is getting through there. I promise you, folks, this is not an actual qualifying run right now. He's just trying to make sure he hits his braking points right, knows how he's going to set up that 1 green flag lap that he's going to get. I believe it is 1 lap of qualifying that these guys will get. So Talon wants to make sure he knows how his truck is handling currently. He wants to make sure he knows where his braking points are. And you're going to see here as he heads down the long straightaway going from the bottom of turn 11 all the way up the hill to turn 12. Hard braking zone right here. You see those white borders on the fence right on that right side. That's going to help a lot of drivers here tonight, unless they have the informative best line on. But you're going to see a lot of guys trying to use that. Usually they use those to maximize their braking points. And some guys like to brake early right when the sign starts. Some guys like to brake all the way deep into the corners. So it's going to be hard tonight for some of these guys to really match their braking points. This right here is definitely going to be a troublesome corner. You see a lot of guys lose a lot of speed right there through turns 13, 14. And here he comes right now up to 17 and 18, where it's really sweeping, trying to just, get the most out of the truck right now. But like I said, this is going to be coming to the green. So he's just trying to right now figure out what he wants to do. He dives it into turn 19 here. He's going to be looking to take the green flag here once he comes out of turn number 20 to hit that front straightaway and go all the way uphill to that wide and sharp turn number 1.
And here he goes uphill. And I kept saying 16 turns. That's how iRacing has it listed in the server, but it is 20 turns. You are correct there. As you see him going to that really sharp turn 1 uphill. This is one of the trickiest throttle spots here. You have to kick it really sharp, get on the throttle as you're going downhill, so it causes a lot of excess tire spin. He looks like he manages that really nicely here. I know you said you haven't driven on this track yet on iRacing, but I love my road courses, but this little S's right here is super tricky with the curbs that stick up so high. You can really mess up your suspension. You can knock some toe out. You can do quite a different things around those yellow curbs that kind of hike as you get closer to the apex of that corner there. But Talon Smith goes through there no problem. Coming to the final part, top of the hill here, as he's now going to head downhill from the rest of the way. Headed off into turn number 11. Looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job right now. This is one of my favorite corners. Right when you get out of turn 10, that little left turn, you're going to see a lot of guys hopping up over the curbs. You see him right there. Great exit. Was able to hit the apex just perfectly through turns 11. Now he's going to go uphill and then start to descend down the hill towards turn number 12. This is the fastest part of the racetrack, and it's going to be so hard for some of these guys late in the run when their tires are worn out. You're going to see them right here already starting to downshift. You see those tails, or the side pipes right there. You see the exhaust coming out, the flame coming out of the exhaust there on the side. You're probably going to see them right here just kind of roll through turns 13 and 14. And then, like I said, right here through 13 all the way to 16, this is probably the trickiest part of the track. And fun fact for the viewers at home, the whole reason that this track was made was they were sitting down at dinner and they were like, let's make a Formula One track. We're going to do it in Austin. and they drew it on a napkin at a dinner table, and hence Circuit of the Americas was born. That's why this track is so weird, so unique. You can't really say what shape it is because there's no real distinct shape. It's got these wide corners, it's got these really tight corners, it's got these wacky chicanes. This is probably, Jeremy, one of the most technical courses in the United States for sure.
Yeah, easily, hands down, and that channels my little inner kid part of me that used to like to draw little road courses on my sheets of paper at school when I was tootling around, as I was getting bored in school like I usually did. So I love that idea. I love that concept because there's endless designs and type of road courses, especially in Austin when you got a bunch of little hill transitions here. Not strong hills, but enough to really just throw a wrench at you guys trying to go around a long track. But I'm going to go to the chats here real quick. I got Jacob Surgis on here saying, Jason Rockefeller is the #1 commentator in the industry, coming in here for a few weeks and just dethroning me real quick, sir. So congratulations on that. As Talon Smith lays a 2:14.4, a whole second quicker almost compared to his practice time. Stephen Hollingsworth matches, or almost matches, Talon Smith's practice
Oh,
time at a 2:15.9. A lot of these guys, the rest of them are 2:16, 2:17. So looks like we're gonna have a couple of standouts in this field tonight.
yeah, for sure. Talon Smith's definitely going to be obviously the one to beat. I mean, that was the fastest lap out of both qualifying and practice. That 2:14 was the fastest. We haven't seen anybody hit the 2:14 bracket up until now with Talon Smith. So he's definitely going to be the one to reckon with tonight. And the fact that we know that is because right now he's 0.5 of a second faster than the field. But the thing, though, about Talon Smith now, yes, obviously you could just tell because of his practice being at the top of the board, and obviously because of qualifying, he may be fast in qualifying and practice. But Jeremy, the one thing I was noticing right there when, before we went to splash screen and before we did our intro, when practice was wrapping up, I was noticing when the last lap times were coming up on the Apex Racing TV live timing sheet, Talon Smith was running about the same times as those guys who I mentioned earlier that were in the top 6. They were all in the 2:17 bracket. So if Talon wants to try to run really good tonight, he's going to have to not run it probably nearly as hard, because I know for a fact that a lot of road course guys, they tend to throw down some absolute heaters like Talon Smith did, but then they just lose it on the tail end of runs because they just don't know how to save tires. So he's going to have to do that here tonight if he wants to win this race.
And that's going to be huge for Talon. Whenever you can run 3, 4, 5 seconds faster than most of the other guys on the track, and you can take it easy, with quotes there, around the track to match the speed of the other guys who, at their time, they're pushing it. They're going their absolute limit, it looks like. So that's a huge thing there. Talon Smith could take it easy for the first 6, 7 laps in the stage 1, and then the final 5 laps just I'm going to take the stage points, all 10 of them, make them mine. And the same thing as they kick it back over probably like a lap 14 or 15. That's going to lead you 22 laps until the checker flag's there to end the whole entire race. So, Talon's in an excellent position. Stephen Hollingsworth, I think if he can find just a little more grip out of his truck, I think this little 2-truck battle is going to be excellent. But the race to watch and probably going to keep our action, keen toward is going to be the mid pack here, where everyone's so bundled up in the 17, 18 second bracket. That should be a pretty entertaining race back there.
Yeah, it definitely should, Jeremy. I'm looking forward to it. And I absolutely just shout out right here. I believe this is the number 14 here. And I believe, as I'm trying to look and see who it is on the timing sheet,
Sure.
it's Steve Allen. I love that scheme, actually, on iRacing. I know a lot of people usually drive it. My cousin, when he first started iRacing, that was the first scheme he actually ended up running when he got into the C-Fix license. But wow, Steve Allen, what a save right there. I don't know if he downshifted right there. I didn't see any flames come out of the exhaust right there. But he got really loose there going into turn 17 and 18. He almost lost the truck there going into 17. But you're going to see a lot of guys do that here tonight. Not everybody's a road course ringer, And here he goes really wide off track. Just absolutely overshoots the corner. I don't even believe he's going to try to post a lap. But here comes the number 19. This is Richie Coy, a driver who's been pretty fast recently. We're gonna have to see where he places here as he heads through the S's.
Well, he's already on his last lap. We got 20 seconds left in the session. He's just now getting through the S's, so it's a guaranteed minute and a half around the track before he gets to the checker flag. So this will not do anything for him, just some extra practice. I'm going back to the chats. I actually have a cheerleader as well, Sam Squachali. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I know I did it last week, but he says, go Team Jeremy. So appreciate that. And then Tommy Doherty says, yo. And then Donahue Daughtry, a real one, for joining us today from Jacob as well. So a little bit different crowd here. I enjoy it. We're getting some new viewers, at least interacting with us. So much appreciated there. But qualifying is officially over. We're going to kick it over to the starting lineup here for today's Echo Park 100. Talon Smith going to take the top spot there at a 2:14.4. Stephen Hollingsworth going to start second. Michael Blackner third. Brody Hanna, last week's winner, going to start in fourth. Tyler Brown fifth. J.P. Burns going to start in sixth. Tommy Schaefer seventh. Tony Solari eighth. Richie Coy ninth. And to round out the top 10, Bobby Terrell.
Yeah, and then to round out your top 20, you have Cody McKinney in 11th. Brian Bliss in 12th. Nick Goebel, he's starting 13th, along with TJ Bartel. He's going to be starting 14th. 15th, you have Alan Duranco. And 16th, you have Brandon Elder. 17th, Kyle McKillen, who's been very fast last week at Atlanta. And you have Joshua O'Connor Sr. in 18th. And to round out the top 20, you have Colton Gum and Ryan Chapman.
21st, Joseph McKinney. 22nd place, Shad Curran. 23rd, Sherwood Williford. 24th, you're going to find Colby Mice. 25th, Steve Angie. 26th, Maxwell Solsch. 27th, Timothy Stubblefield. 28th, Lane Allen, last year's winner here at COTA. 29th, Stephen Loomis. 30th place, Josh Mayu. 31st, Rick Webb. 32nd, Casey McMullen. And Justin Deltz in the 91 will round out tonight's 33 truck lineup, which is the biggest truck event we've had at the road course, I think, since we've started broadcasting these guys a year and a half ago. So congratulations, FTSR, on almost filling the entire truck series race at a road course, which a lot of leagues struggle to do that. So that's awesome numbers here for COTA.
Oh, yeah, Jeremy, no doubt about it. That's the thing. Whenever I was doing league racing, even if it's not even on iRacing, when I go back to the Xbox days, Forza, NASCAR Heat, NASCAR 15, nobody really liked to really line up and race here at the road courses. And honestly, it was always a plus for me because I was always very, very good with the console games. I always would claw the controller and use LB and RB as my shift. And use my pointer fingers for that, and use my middle fingers for the braking and the gas on the trigger. So I always really loved road course racing in the leagues, and I'm sure these guys are getting ready to have a really fun one. That's the thing about road course racing. You're not going to be as tight, going to be a little bit more strung out, and you'll always learn something every lap. So it's going to be an interesting race, to say the least. And if I had to guess right now, this race looks like it's going to be between Talon Smith and Stephen Hollingsworth up at the front of the field. Obviously, Talon so fast in qualifying and practice, but did fall off towards the end of practice there with the times. People were starting to match him. So don't count your chickens yet and think that Talon Smith might run away with this one. He might have some company behind him later on in this race.
Yeah, I forget the driver's name, so I forgive you for that, or apologize. But last year at Sonoma, we had the truck race here, or there at Full Throttle, and the guy who was 25 seconds in the lead with about like a handful of laps to go dumped it halfway through his lap and lost the lead. So I mean, even if you have a half a track lead, like you said, don't count your chickens too early, because mental games happen. You can be like, man, I got this in the books, I'm just going to do my thing, and then things happen, and then you're not leading the race. So the mental game, when you're by yourself for so long, you have to keep yourself in check, make sure you're good to go. Pace car is off, waiting for the green flag to fly at COTA for the Echo Park 100 here at the Full Throttle Sim Racing Martin Sports Truck Series. Green flag is out. Looks like a clean start as they approach up the hill into turn 1. The 5 and the 24 dead heat, getting themselves about a 3-truck separation over road number 2 with Brody Hanna and Michael Blackner as they enter turn number 1. Looks like giving a lot of space with everybody there going through row by row by row. Not many guys door to door there. Really good to see. But the 5 and 24, Jason, are still side by side.
Yeah, and somebody's going to have to give right here, Jeremy. You can't really go side by side, but it looks like Stephen Hollingsworth is actually going to have the nod given to him from Talon Smith. He'll take the race lead now as they work their way through the S's, through turn 6 now, coming up to turn number 7. So here they come, all single file. Everybody kind of fanned out there on the start, and now you're going to start to see tire wear start to be a factor even just after one lap. But Talon Smith, he's trying to chase down Stephen Hollingsworth for that race lead with Michael Blackner, Brody Hanna, and Tyler Brown right back there in the 5th spot. They're all trying to race towards that lead as they dive it down into the sharp turn 11.
Huge passing zone right there. That corner really widens out before the apex there, so a lot of people like to aim for it low and try to make something happen, and you saw a couple people try to make that happen. Richie Coy, one of them, you see him on your screen right now. He's currently going side by side to try to get himself further into the top 10, racing, it looks like Schaefer there, and the number 11 for 8th place, so he's trying to advance his position there. And still side by side, going through turn number 13. Looks like they're still going to hold it side by side as they approach the stadium corner here.
Yeah, this is a really tricky part of the track, like I was talking about in practice and qualifying. Jeremy, you see the 19 of Richie Coy almost up into the door of Tommy Schaefer there, but he'll get the nod, take that position from Schaefer there out of the corner. Now they're going to head to turn number 17 as everybody single files out here. We're going to take a look here at the replay. It looks like some possible trouble in the back of the field right here, and oh yeah, you're going to see a lot of that tonight. The 89 right there, that's Maxwell Solge. He just really got in there hard. Good save by him, but you're going to see that as the runs progress throughout the night. Guys are going to just be diving into the corner, think they have the braking line matched up, and unfortunately just overdrove the corner right here. But here's a nice little battle. Michael Blackner to the inside of the racetrack, trying to pass the double zero of Tyler Brown. Almost some contact there. They're going to be double wide here as they head for 2.
Nick Goebel made some contact with Steve Loomis, entering, I think, 16 and 17 there. Spun out to 17. The 25 of Goebel continues to go forward. Apologies were said on the radio, but early contact here on lap number 1. Almost completed the entire lap without seeing anything, but only 2 trucks involved in that. We stay green.
Yeah, that's the thing now. Everybody's going to start to get really spread out, and you can just see, though, how much that is. Everybody's super spread out pretty much every time we go to a wide-angle shot here from our producer, Dustin. You can just see how fanned out everybody is here as they work their way past turn number 10, heading downhill. Here's the number 69 machine. And that is Steve Angie right there, trying to work on the outside on the 0-2 of Josh Mayu, but it's just not enough. But here they go up the hill, and then they're going to descend down the hill into turn number 12. Might see some guys locking up the brakes here as they come into the corner.
Trying to make the pass to number 5 there, side by side, Stephen Hollingsworth and Talon Smith heading off into turn number 13. And it looks like the 5 of Talon's going to kind of cut off the corner exit there around the apex, gets around the 24, and now the 5 of Talon Smith has the race lead. He'll probably take off from that point forward, but it's going to allow some of those guys to catch up a little closer here. It's a pretty good race for 3rd, 4th, 5th. They're all bumper to bumper here, trying to complete lap number 2. So pretty racy still within the top 5.
Yeah, that last time around, though, on the racetrack, Stephen Hollingsworth did post the fastest lap for him. He ran a 2:16.67, and Talon Smith ran a 2:17.24. Gonna have to see who posts the fastest lap this time between those two drivers. Like I said, Talon Smith super fast early in those runs in practice and qualifying. He actually just ran the fastest lap of the race so far, 2:16.63, while Steve Hollingsworth ran 2 seconds slower than Smith there that last time around. You got to think that something happened there to Hollingsworth possibly to lose that lead when Smith was able to take it. But like I said, Smith very fast in qualifying and everything. So going to be interesting to see if Hollingsworth is going to be able to get back to him.
Yeah, we know Smith has the speed. Does Hollingsworth have the long run? If the 5 burns his tires off too quickly, will the 24 be there even before stage break, which is coming up on lap 12? We're currently on lap number 3, so about the 4th of the way through stage 1 already. I know 37 laps seems like a short time, but when you're running 2.5 minutes almost around this 3.5 mile track, it does take some time for sure, and that tire wear will kick in. These times will go down even further and further. But a lot of the field has spaced out, and as I say that, we got some issues here. It looks like about 8th, 7th place, somewhere in that ballpark, right in front of Tony Solari. In the 11, we saw the 99 and the 19. That'd be J.P. Burns and Richie Coy. They both slid through turn number 10, it looks like. Had some tire spin off that corner. You saw it there on their TV replay. The 99 makes the contact on the inside wall. Richie Coy makes a little reaction to the far outside part of the track to avoid anything from happening to his truck. So, looks like some tire spin issues early on here for a couple of these guys.
Yeah, Richie Coy did a really nice job there, but JP Burns, unfortunately, just collects himself into that inside wall. But here's the best thing about these road courses, and then here's the negative thing about these road courses is the positive thing, as you see him make a little bit of contact there, no harm, no foul. Looks like he has some left front damage, though, not too sure. But positive thing about that is JP Burns only lost about 3 or 4 spots there. And look at him, he's still inside the top 10, currently sitting P10. And the 19 of Richie Coy still P6, just shy of the top 5. So that's the good thing. You don't really lose too much track position when the field gets spread out. But the negative thing about this is, look at this. We're coming to lap 4, Jeremy. You could just see how much tire wear is already playing a factor because of these 20 turns here at Circuit of the Americas. So tire wear is going to play a big factor. You're going to see a lot of guys think that they can probably go over that hump in turn 10 and not lose the truck. But unfortunately, that's just one of the fastest little tiny turns on this racetrack, and that might be a troublesome spot here for the remainder of the night.
Sam Squatch Sally back on the chat saying go 69, referencing Steve Angie. Currently has some work to do. We know we have stage break, but Angie currently resides in 29th place. To kind of go off what you were saying a little bit, you got to treat this race like an F1 race almost, with such, how spaced out these guys get. You know you don't have the fastest truck. It's like, okay, you got to settle in. You don't want to burn your stuff up. So learn the track, learn where to go, because the truck will come to you if you take care of your stuff. The mental game is huge, because at this point in the race, a lot of these guys have a truck maybe just outside of a second or 2 seconds away from one another. So you're all by yourself, right? So I know F1 gets pretty spaced out overall as well. You have a couple of racing packs, but then you have a lot of spaced out in this. So just gotta plan. You gotta strategize as best as you can. Hopefully these guys have some spotters to take care of their setups as they're on the track. Or if you're by yourself, use the straightaways, use the front stretch, use the straightaway between turns 11 and 12 to kind of adjust where you can, because you want to be in there for the long haul. You don't want to take care of your stuff, and don't wreck out too early.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to wreck out too early, Jeremy, that's for sure. And you really don't want any kind of problems. I mean, just what Richie Coy and JP Burns were able to do. I mean, yeah, they were able to recover and still stay inside the top 10, but that could be a costly mistake for them later on this race. Now, yes, give or take, we will have a stage caution on lap 12, which will be, folks, the only full course caution of this race. So the field will bunch back up, have an opportunity to take tires. But that could have costed Richie Coy. You don't know that. Maybe he could have gained 2 more positions before this stage caution comes out. Now he finds himself 6th, currently 9.8 seconds back, about to be 10 seconds back as it now goes over that. So, that could have been a costly mistake for Richie Coy, and that could have been a costly mistake for JP Burns there. He might lose a top 10 possibly as this run goes on, because he's only about a second and a half to 2 seconds over Kyle Milliken in that number 42, who sits in the 11th spot.
Been paying attention to this pack of trucks here. Brody Hanna leads the way in 4th place. 5th and 6th, Michael Blackman and Richie Coy. They are still bumper to bumper. I'm really enjoying this little group of racing right here. This is the race on the track. Everybody else is really spaced out. So 4th, 5th, and 6th put on a good show. Tony Solari in 7th, even the 11 truck. He's now coming up really close to the 22 as he had some issues. The 19 of Richie Coy gets around him through the back half of the S's here as they're coming to the back half of the track here, up through turns 9 and 10, I believe, or 8 and 9 rather, at almost the highest point of the track. Headed back downhill a little bit here. See the 22 Blackner a little loose there. His tire spin. Saw the truck wiggle, so he's trying to really manage that throttle. Going through turn 11. No one tries to make a pass here, all single file. Getting back to the throttle, 11 and Tony Slaughter. Looks like he slid his truck out just a little bit. So I'm going to heat up the rear tires there, and then they kind of space out. But yeah, this race right here, I'm used to seeing a lot more trucks spaced out, but for the inside the top 5 here, it's a pretty fun battle to watch.
Yeah, the top 5 is only separated now by what looks to be about 12 seconds, which obviously isn't that big of a gap considering the fact that it's a road course. But you could just see, though, how spread out this field is. If you look underneath the presented by Nerd TV box, you see that Nerd TV track map, and you see right now Talon Smith working his way all the way around this racetrack, and just how spread out that field is, so it just goes to show you and gives yourself an opportunity to look and say, man, these guys are really spread out right now. We got guys all the way in turns 9 and 10. We got guys all the way about to hit turn 1. So that's the great thing about this road course racing. Like I said, you're not really racing most of the time, but you're really kind of just preparing yourself for a mental challenge towards the end of this race. As we take a look here at a replay of possibly an incident here that happened between the number 2 and the 59 here going into turn number 11. Man, oh man, that's just the 59. Unfortunately, just misjudging it, tried to cross over, and the 2 just had to lock it up a little bit more than what he wanted to. And the 59 and the 2 made contact, 59 being Joshua O'Connor Sr., and the 2 being Alan Duranco. So, unfortunate break for those 2, but it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of damage. But look at that 24, Jeremy. Stephen Hollingsworth, he is slipping and sliding all through those S's. Great save by him heading into turn 4.
Yeah, he is all over the place right now. He's lost a substantial amount of time over Talon Smith. I thought maybe the 24 would have a little something in the tank late in the run, but he has now dropped 5.5 seconds back of that race leader, Talon Smith. This is road course racing, and I have really come to like a product, so I'm going to give a quick shout out to one of our partners, iRacing iFlag, especially on these road courses and a multi-class or even in the Cup or Truck Series, whatever you're racing on. It's a great unit to have as like a little side person to kind of tell you everything around the track. So iRacing iFlag is the standard open source race marshaling lightboard system. It has 64 LEDs that give you up to 30 different notifications that iRacing has to offer, like if a truck's high or low, or if you're just going really slow and need to get out of the way. It gives you the meatball. And it never allows you to take your focus off the racing action just because it's really bright. You can't miss it, and it's much bigger than that little flag system that's on the top left hand of your screen. So if you're interested to try to complete your sim rig with this unit, head over to iracingiflag.com. And if you find anything you do like there, go to Super Nerd or use Super Nerd on your checkout for 15% off anything you purchase from the iracingiflag.com website, and head back to your Action Year 22. Michael Blackner currently resides in 6th place here. Kind of spaced out compared to the guys right in front of him, teammates Richie Coy and Brody Hanna are 4th and 5th. No surprise to see these teammates up here running inside the top 5.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. They've all been lights out here so far in these first few laps. I'm noticing something, though, as you see the 17 there. He did go wide. Unfortunately, that is Steve Loomis there, and he is having himself a tough night here so far at COTA here in Austin, Texas. But here's the note, Jeremy. We're getting down. We're a little bit past, I believe, now halfway into this stage. You might just see some guys try to short pit before the lap 12 yellow. That is not uncommon here at these road courses, because if you're a driver like in the back, for example, like Brandon Elder, maybe, Alan Duranco, who had some trouble, maybe Steven Allen, who won this race last year, maybe you just try to short pit, gain some positions in the pits. You're not going to gain them on track, obviously, but then once that caution's out, you're going to have all those guys in front of you and maybe some others, you're going to have guys that obviously will probably pit with you, but you're not going to have as many cars or trucks to pass once you go back green flag racing. So I wouldn't be surprised if right before lap 12, you might see some guys try to short pit here, take that undercut and gain a lot of track position, because it could definitely help you in the points here tonight.
Yeah, 100%. And to go off what you just said, the pits do close 2 laps prior to stage break. So when they cross the line for lap 10, I believe at that time, or actually lap 11, the admin we'll throw that rule out there. So you can't shortcut too early because this track's it's a big track, 3.5 miles long. If you try to short pit it, just remember you have to go another 22 laps roughly before you find the checker flag. So just make sure. Oh, the 19 Richie Coy is around. It looks like that's about turn 17 and 18 here, if I'm doing that correctly. Actually, that was before. That was turn 13 and 14 there. Just loops it, gets too heavy on the throttle, does a 360 all by himself, as you're going to watch it right here on the Nerd TV replay. Headed up to turn 13 and just actually didn't even, the truck was loose from the very beginning of the corner. So just from the get-go had no control over that thing. Thankfully, no one was around him, so it's going to cost him a couple positions, and he's back going to marching his way through. Now resides about 8th place, but we're going to kick it over to our first commercial break of this evening. We'll be back with you guys after a few short messages. And back to full screen coverage here of the Full Throttle Sim Racing Martin Sports Truck Series, as we're currently on lap number 9 of 12 to end the first stage here. We're looking at the number 5, Mr. Talon Smith, who has just grown his lead exponentially to 12 seconds out of now second place, the 00 of Tyler Brown, who has passed Stephen Hollingsworth about last lap. It looks like the 24 is just kind of falling off the pace here, Jason. Not keeping up with the tire situation like we expected. He has now dropped back to 13.5 seconds behind Talon Smith, and he's just praying for that caution in about 3 laps.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too because Steve was very, very fast once that practice session ended, and even in qualifying, obviously was really good. Started P2, but notice right now here comes Brody Hanna. A driver who's been very consistent lately. He's always very fast, and here he is right now heading through the really tricky part of the racetrack. And I always get messed up with the turn numbers because all those turns are so bundled up. But he's heading out of turn 16 now, heading for 17. But you're noticing a lot of guys get loose into the corner. But Brody Hanna right now tracking down Stephen Hollingsworth, so he might be able to pick up P3 here before the end of the stage, Jeremy. But we are about to hit lap number 10. So in these next 2 laps, I would not be surprised if you see some guys come down to pit road here and try to take 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles and try to get some track position once the stage ends and stays out. As you see the 29 there lock up. That was Tommy Schaefer there. Just another hard lockup going into the fastest corner on the racetrack there in turn 12.
Yeah, and also the 00, Tyler Brown getting pretty crazy loose off a corner turn 20 going to the start-finish line. See the 11, Tony Solari, making a pass now over Michael Blackner. That's going to put Mr. Solari inside the top 5 as long as he stays there during the next lap. But going to the chats, we got Edward Blom saying, I'm back again. Go, Angie. Chapman pulling a move tonight again. It's quite possible. He usually finds the way. But then he said, go Angie. Pudgy's Pizza, baby. And I'm always down with some pizza. So gonna rock out with that sponsor as well. And yeah, got 2 laps left. I didn't see anyone make that shortcut pit that you were talking about, Jason, so I don't think that's the game plan, because once the leader crosses the line this time, it should be closing pit road until stage break. So looks like all these guys are just going to elect to ride it out and keep that extra lap on their tires as they go for stage 2.
Yeah, which I'm honestly very shocked, Jeremy, because honestly, and I'm going to say shame on these drivers because they have the opportunity to this lap, but it looks like nobody wanted to, which was very unfortunate because you could have gained a ton of track position. As you see Stephen Hollingsworth there on the Nerd TV replay, he was able to get past Tyler Brown there heading into turn number 11, went really low, hit the apex just perfectly, was able to slide his rear bumper right across the front bumper of Tyler Brown. But Tyler now, he's under attack from Brody Hanna. These guys are getting a little racy. They know track position's been key here tonight. So they're heading right now into turn number 16. Brody Hanna right now reeling in Tyler Brown, trying to pick up the 3rd place spot here before the end of this stage as they're approaching 2 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, the past 2 laps or so, Tyler Brown's turned this into a drift track, so to speak. Every corner he is just slipping and sliding. He looked very uneasy there going through turn 17 and 18. And he's going to kick it loose once again going through 19. And this has allowed the 24 of Hollingsworth to make that pass back to 2nd place. Coming through turn 20, looks like the 00 came through that corner pretty clean. But yeah, the 23 Brody Hanna is lurking. We know we got 1 lap until stage break. The 23 is trying to maximize every point he can for the championship battle. So this might be a good race to watch for this final lap.
Yeah, for sure. So they're right now heading out of turn number 1, now heading down to turn number 2. Tyler Brown, you see him just trying to coast, make sure he can get all 4 tires and keep them off the non-racing surface here. But right now, look at how much Brody Hanna closes that gap, heading through the S's, now heading to turns 8 and 9 here in just a second. Brody Hanna, he might be able, Jeremy, to make the pass here on Tyler Brown. He is right on the rear tailgate of Tyler Brown here as they head up the hill for turn 10. This could be a troublesome spot, and you see Brody Hanna closing ever so slightly. He might try the dive bomb here into turn 11. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I was expecting it, but the 00 had such a good run through 9 and 10 that allowed that separation from Brody and large enough to not be able to make that attack to the bottom there through turn 11. It looks like the 00, Tyler Brown gets a good launch off of 11. Going to keep a little space there between him and the 23. Draft does play in effect a little bit here as they're about 170 miles an hour into the heavy braking zone of turn 12, which they go from 170 to about 40 miles an hour, so 130 drop off as they both get to that corner clean. The 23 of Brody Hanna, though, sticking a little closer this time as they go through turns 13 and 14. Brody's going to try to take the top and easily just powers it down, passes Tyler Brown, no problem there. It's going to move Brody to 4th, or 3rd rather.
Yeah, I don't really think right there, Jeremy, that Tyler wanted that much out of Brody Hand. I mean, he might be able to capitalize here as he heads into turn 17 and 18 as they're about to approach lap 12. And Talon Smith is in a zip code of his own right now. He has almost pushed the gap up to 19 seconds. He now hits lap number 12. So that caution, Jeremy, for the stage should be coming out here. I believe once these drivers all cross the start-finish line. But yeah, right there in those last few corners, Tyler Brown, I don't believe he won any part of Brody Hanna getting on his rear bumper. He's going to be close, but it's just not going to be enough here as he hits the line.
Yeah, we're just waiting for that caution to fly. I know only a few drivers have crossed the line this time. The admins may be waiting for a few more drivers to cross before they throw the yellow. But looking at the 10th place here, Mr. Burns. It looks like the caution actually is going to fly after he crossed the line, which he does do that now. Just now waiting for that caution flag to fly at any moment here. But Talon Smith, obviously with almost a 20-second lead over the second place, Stephen Hollingsworth just has a truck that's just untouchable on this long run. Carries all the fast speed and still does not show the tire wear like most of these other guys do. So really impressed with the number 5. It looks like he's going to be doing just fine for stage 2 once that caution does fly.
Yeah, we're just waiting right now for that caution to come out. But Talon Smith, man, this is his race to lose now. All that's going to really cost him is a mistake made by him. As you see him right there, almost locks it up there going into the corner, passing a lap truck. And he's just heading around the corner right now. And we're going to have to take right here a look at the Nerd TV replay. This is... I believe that's the number 89. Yeah, I believe that might be the 89 machine. Yes, it is. That's Maxwell Solch whips it around there in the corner. Man, I think he thinks he won the race, man, because right now he's doing some donuts right now. You know, he's just trying to tell Talon maybe, next time let him take a victory here. But he loops it back around, saves it. We should be getting the caution here, though, any minute. But Talon Smith, man, this is his race to lose. He's been lights out ever since the green flag came out. And he's not just losing time. He's gaining time every single lap.
Yeah, I'm really surprised we haven't seen that caution fly just yet. They usually fly or throw it pretty quick. But now the number 5, Talon Smith, is going to cross the line for lap 13 to start. So one scheduled lap passed. I wonder if there was a late change with the admins to push it back a little bit, because on the schedule all season prior it said lap 12, so now we're on lap 13, a quarter of the way in. So we're probably going to wait for 10th place, which is JP Burns, to cross the line once again. Maybe at that point they'll throw it, but we're still anxiously waiting. The 89 that Solch doing that big burnout, he really needs his new rear set of tires, because that thing probably has zero grip at this point. We're seeing the 99 JP going through turn 20 here. As soon as they cross the line, we're expecting it maybe this time around. Still don't see it just yet, so we're going to keep it green flag at the moment. Talon Smith up to a 21-second lead over second place Stephen Hollingsworth. And Brody Hanna is slowly approaching the 24 here within 1 second of Hollingsworth.
Yeah, he might just be able to get him here before this caution comes out. As you take right here a look at the number 4 machine, really dives it down in there, almost locks it up. And he just is able to scoot away right there. And that's the number 40 or the number 4 of Bobby Terrell. Now he's heading through the S's. Don't believe there was any real confrontation for him. He just really sent it into turn number 1. Could have wiped out probably 1 or 2 trucks. But yeah, Jeremy, I'm surprised though the caution has not come out yet. I don't know if maybe possibly the league admins, they decide to push it back a little bit like you said. I don't know, maybe if they're going to wait a little bit, maybe wait till halfway. I'm really honestly surprised that we have not seen this caution, because we're almost now 2 laps after the fact of when that caution was supposed to fly. So any moment now, we're kind of just anxiously waiting, like you said, but Talon Smith is just continuing to pull away. And like I said, not just by a little bit, but by a lot. He's up 21 seconds now on the rest of the field.
I've not even seen the admins throw the pit closure 2 laps prior either. So we're just going to treat this thing at this point and as a green flag all the way race, unless they say otherwise, because we keep waiting. I don't see it. So we're just going to continue to go as if it's just going to be a green flag race to the end. So we're going to give a quick shout out to our usually popular sponsor with the cautions, but this time not so much. Roasted Gems Coffee offers premium quality, ethically produced coffee gems from different parts of the world, coupled with delicious blends and flavors that'll make your taste buds melt with delight. Roasted Gems Coffee is the only place to quench your caffeinated coffee desires. They value your coffee experience with each order roasted to perfection upon order and shipped straight to your door for peak flavor. Whether if you want mellow flavor just with a hint of caffeine to get your day started, or whether you want the coffee so strong it'll show up on your drug test, Roasted Gems Coffee has you covered, and you're going to find all their products at roastedgems.com to get yourself a taste. And you saw, I think that was the 0-2. Josh May, you would give plenty of leeway there to the 14 as they head off to the start-finish line to start their lap number 14, which we're approaching the halfway mark here in about 5 laps or so. And the number 5 is still growing his lead, Jason. He's 22 seconds now over second place.
Yeah, he is still continuing to grow that lead. As you had right now onto the Nerd TV replay, you see Timothy Stubblefield there. I don't know if he was avoiding a truck or not, but he was really high there. He's just kind of let him go by. Not too sure what that was all about right there, but he was really high entering turns 1 and 2. But Jeremy, I'm taking a look right now at that Apex Racing TV live timing sheet, and we actually did have a taker back on lap 12 into the pits. You see the 14 almost curb hops that thing. Wow, that thing was on 2 wheels for a little bit of hang time there. I tell you what, if this was Monster Jam, he probably would have gotten a few points from the judges there over in turn 10. But we did have a taker, Jeremy. Steve Angie, that number 69 machine, who's currently 23rd, back by 2 minutes 59 seconds. He's currently all the way back there, but he pitted on lap number 12, so I don't believe that these guys probably cut the pits short. As you see his flannel pit crew right there, they're not changing tires on it. It looks like they're just talking, probably talking about what kind of Roasted Gems coffee they're going to buy here after this race. So yeah, maybe some Pudgy's pizza here, as our producer Dustin's in my ear. But yeah, the 69 right there, Jeremy, was the only taker there on pit road on lap number 12. So he's the freshest one on tires right now. So he might be able to leapfrog the field once this caution does come out, or when they do have to pit.
If I had a restaurant near me that served pizza and all the workers were in flannel t-shirts, I'm buying from there every single time. You know that pizza is going to taste absolutely amazing. But yeah, to your point, now the 69 has 14 to 15 lap fresher tires. He's going to able probably to run at least a second and a half faster than what he was and what everybody else is doing. So you just, at the same token, since you're the first person in, you have to take care of those tires. If you try to go too hard to the paint too early, it's all for nothing, because when they pit, they're just going to do the same thing to you. They're going to eat you right back up. So he's got to take it easy about first 5 or 6 laps. You're going to be fat. Well, he's going through the grass here. He's going really too easy here. That 69 going to eliminate all of the speed and momentum that he had getting that short pit, as he just went through the grass through turns 9 and 10, giving way too much extra room. As we're probably going to catch that here on the Nerd TV replay. Steve Angie, part of the mowing service at Circuit of America, is just crawling through the grass here. Not sure if he just overshot 9 and got loose, but there he is. Gave up a lot of ground there. But so that kind of eliminates that. But yeah, just take care of your stuff at this point. And it doesn't look like we're going to have any caution. So, he's got to save those tires for another, 23 laps?
Yeah, I'm honestly not too sure, Jeremy, if we're even actually going to see that caution, because mind the fact, too, that obviously these guys kind of base, I believe, some of their rules, too, off the actual NASCAR rule book. I remember back in Atlanta this past Monday, I believe it was, you were not allowed to go down below the red and white line to advance your position. And there's been some guys who just keep coming to the pits. I think Joshua O'Connor Sr., he came into the pits, but right now it says that he's out. No, he's not. Yes, he is out. He's exited the pit. So Joshua O'Connor Sr. now the latest one to put on some fresh Goodyear Eagles, but currently he's the first truck 1 lap down. I actually believe that might be him right behind Talon Smith, who just came out of the pits. We're going to have to see. So, Jeremy, if you remember, during, I believe it was the beginning of the season here for the top 3 NASCAR series, they did say they were not going to have stage cautions at these events. So that could very well be the case here tonight for this league. They may just not throw a full course yellow here in this race.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing too. I know that rule is in effect, but I didn't hear anything adjusted. I didn't see it, so I was just going to call it how it's listed. And I think you're going to nail this one on the head, as we're basically halfway at this point, or really close to it. So, yeah, I think we're just going to go green the rest of the way. So we're going to plan on that. We've seen a couple early takers. That means we're going to have to see a couple guys take a 2-stop race, I would imagine. Not sure if they can stretch out their fuel that long or their tires that long. They're probably going to have to pit twice, which, if you have an ill-handling truck, you're probably going to need that anyways. Jumping back to the chats here, Edward Blom saying, I think he got a slice of pizza too. Hard to maintain your line when you're enjoying Pudgies. Yeah, I guess if you're trying to balance the wheel with one hand and a delicious slice of pepperoni pizza in the other, I don't know if NASCAR is going to like that or iRacing. You got to keep your helmet visor down under green flag conditions. So, just kidding, but there might be some penalties headed his way. Who knows? But yeah, that could be a great explanation, Edward.
Yeah, and I tell you what, too, Jeremy, we got a nice little battle going on track here. The 0-0 of Tyler Brown and Stephen Hollingsworth, man, they might not be battling for first and second right now, but they're battling for that final position up on that podium for the bronze spot right now. These guys have been duking it out the last 2 laps, swapping the positions between the two of them. Tyler Brown, he fell back behind Steve Hollingsworth there, and now he's gotten back by him. These guys are so loose coming out of the corners. Those tires are definitely squealing, like Terry Radford would say, like a duck in a pin, because I know he's a Tennessee Volunteers fan. That's pretty much how these rear tires are handling right now. So these guys are just begging for some fresh Goodyear Eagles right now. But yeah, these guys probably should be pitting here pretty soon, because I know those tires are squealing big time, and the fuel is definitely going to be a factor here as we're reaching 21 to go.
Yeah, 37-lap race, and you're probably going to see guys pit in the next couple laps, probably lap 18 or 19, really. That's going to be your halfway point, and that would be the perfect time to split the race in half, get those set of Goodyear tires, and be on your way. But right before the pits do happen, we're going to kick it to our second commercial break. We're going to go picture-in-picture mode. Be back to you guys after a few messages. And welcome back to full screen coverage here of the Full Throttle Sim Racing Martin Sports Truck Series. And you're watching this pretty awesome battle right now with the 00 Tyler Brown and the 24 of Stephen Hollingsworth. These guys have really technically not left each other all race long. They've been spaced out a little bit. They've come back. They've spaced out. And right now, 18 laps in, halfway, these guys are just going for it like it's the last lap. We almost see some crossover action. Some really close racing through the S's in particular. These guys are just, they're entertaining us right now, Jason.
Yeah, these guys have been the best battle on the racetrack, unfortunately, compared to what Talon Smith is doing, because he's dropping an absolute clinic on this field. Make sure to check out your local Spotify probably on Friday, because he's probably going to drop a song called I Dominated at COTA, more than likely, because that's exactly what he's doing here tonight. But you see Stephen Hollingsworth, he is all over the back bumper of Tyler Brown. When we went to that side-by-side commercial break, Jeremy, we were all discussing it here in the booth with our producer, Justin. You saw the 24. He tried to cross over Tyler Brown there heading into turns 2 and 3. He's going to get to his back bumper right here. Oh, my gosh, this is looking like Ross Chastain, Alex Bowman, and A.J. Allmendinger from last year, man. These guys are putting on one heck of a show here for these sim racing fans. This has been the battle. Well, there goes that battle. Bye-bye. Here's the first real taker, it looks like, up at the front for the heavy hitters. Here goes Stephen Hollingsworth. He's going to have to pit, take some fresh tires, and see what he can get out of this.
Splits the race right down the middle, coming into pit lane at the end of lap 18 on to lap 19. So we're probably going to see the 00 make that pit stop probably this lap, I would imagine, than most other guys, as we're now officially halfway through this thing. Talon Raylor's up to a 33-second lead over second place Brody Hanna, who's just continuing to pull away from the 00 and 24 at the time. Running a race of his own. I know his teammates Richie Coy and Bobby Terrell, they're running 5th and 6th consecutively there. And then Tony Solari actually in 7th. So all of Fury Motorsports inside the top 10, which I know that number 11, Mr. Tony, he builds these setups on these road courses. He is the guy to go to when you turn right and left. So looks like his setup once again is showing that it's pretty good overall. Not Talon Smith fast, but when you have your whole team inside the top 10, that's a good thing to say.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing to say, especially if you're Tony Solari right now. You see a little bit of damage, though, all down the left side of that race truck, between the left front fender, the left rear quarter panel, and even the driver's side door right beneath that window net. But it looks like everybody's got really a piece of damage here tonight. It is COTA, obviously. Everybody's going to make mistakes unless you're looking to be a road course ringer like Talon Smith, I said. Again, dropping that single this Friday called I Dominated at COTA. And it looks like he could be in this time by. I'm not too sure. Yes, he is. Jeremy, here comes your leader, Talon Smith, with that nearly 35-second gap. We're going to have to see how much time he loses here. Only time will tell, though. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Right there in the pits with a truck.
I was just going to say, this is your race to win. You don't want to lose it, and you don't want to make enemies. You don't... I know the 33 was going a little slow on pit road, but I don't know if the bump was called for, but it's not going to do any damage, at least heavy enough to do anything to the 5 truck. But as they exit down pit road, it looks like the rest of the stop and all the way through pit road was clean other than that little contact. Gets off of pit road just fine, and I think the 5 is going to set sail the rest of the way as long as he can keep all 4 tires underneath him.
Yeah, pretty much. Like we talked about, Jeremy, this is Talon Smith's race to lose. Right now, he's got a little bit over a 3-second gap on Brody Hanna, but Brody has not pitted yet. Actually, that opened up the door that last time around when Talon did pit. As you see the 33 right here, he went off track. I think he actually just decided to tow it finally. Yeah, he said, I had enough making left and right turns. I'm a virtual NASCAR sim racer. I only make left turns, but I don't blame him. You know, some guys are going to be strong here at these road courses, some aren't. You know, some guys just like it and they like to learn from it. Drivers like more than likely Richie Coy, who's usually strong on the ovals, and he's actually having a really good showing tonight. Brody Hanna, again, another driver right now in second. And then obviously the best battle on the racetrack right now, Stephen Hollingsworth and Tyler Brown, what they've been putting on these last handful of laps. But so far, it looks like Talon Smith, like I said, he's dropping that single this Friday, obviously a running joke, but he's just been running away with this race so far, and he's continuing to grow that gap on Brody Hanna. But Talon Smith did open up the door big time that last time around. Most of the whole entire field did pit that last time around, Jeremy.
Just to show you how much time the Talon Smith had over everybody else, the next guy behind this number 5 is the 23 of Brody Hanna, by like 5 or 6 seconds. This guy had a lead. He pitted by himself, and he came out still in front of second place without second place coming down pit road. So that just shows you how much time he had on everybody else. We still have to see the 23 make his pit stop. That's just that really impresses me. I know it's a road course and people have their niches, but just to see that kind of domination, I'm sure that song that he's writing is probably going to be over 6 minutes long, just because he's had so much time to think about his lyrics, right?
Yeah, he's probably going to have about 20 verses for the 20 turns here at COTA, and it's probably realistically going to be a 2.5-minute song. As you see Brody Hanna now, he's into the pits, obviously going to give up all that track position he gained on Talon Smith, but obviously that was going to be a given as that full throttle sim racing truck number 23 heads into the pits and also brings Richie Coy behind him in that beautiful number 19 Martin Sports Ford F-150 here.
Yeah, Fury Motorsports coming down pit road, giving up second and third place. Tony Solari probably going to follow suit here as he's the next truck in line to do so with Bobby Terrell as they're running on the track right now, 7th and 8th place as they go through turns 19. Let's see if the 4 and the 11 do the same thing. The 4 does not. The 11 does not. So half the team pits one lap, and we're probably going to see the other half of the team pit the following lap. So they're going to stay on the track, try to gain a couple spots, and they're going to have to give it right back up when you go down pit road. But they're just extending the tires on this first run and having a much better comfort in that truck for the shorter second half of the run.
Yeah, man, right there, the 99, he just almost overshot the S's, completely going through there. That could have been really big there for JP Burns. He almost made contact there with another truck. And also mind the fact, Jeremy, Steve Hollingsworth posted the fastest lap of the race just that last time around with a 2-minute 16-second 0.37 seconds as well added onto that. So right now, Stephen Hollingsworth has the fastest lap of the race, but obviously he's going to have something big, Jeremy, happen if he's going to want to catch Talon Smith and try to pass him and possibly more than likely take home this win, because Talon is currently up 38 seconds on second place, Stephen Hollingsworth, right now.
As you were talking about Stephen going through 11, he did lock him up and overshoot the entrance of turn 11. I would expect him and the 00 to find themselves. The 00 has the fresher tires, though. He did drop back quite a significant amount of time, around like 8 to 10 seconds, but he will be back there. Don't count him out just yet. He's under fire now by the 19 there, Richie Coy. But yeah, Talon right now has... We're going to see this time by just how big this lead is, because the leaderboard is not updated. The 5 just crosses the line now. Brody Hanna, we're going to kick it back over to him, second place, who's going through only turns 17 and 18 right now. So he's still not even on the front straightaway. Such a massive lead difference. This has got to be at least 30 seconds like it was prior to the pit stops happening. He's going to come through turns 20 this time. Stay on board with them and see what kind of time difference this has. They were about 32 seconds last time coming across the line. 39-second lead. Talon Smith now has over second place, Stephen Hollingsworth.
Yeah, man, that's just a really big gap here. We're going to take a look here at your Nerd TV replays. You see the 27 machine just very slow going through the corners. I believe this is heading up to turns 9 and 10 here. Probably is going to get loose here, right? More than likely going on there. And no, he does not, actually. So, yeah, it was just him getting loose right there prior. But that last time around, I tell you what, man, Talon Smith must have heard me on this broadcast, because he actually just posted the fastest lap of the race that last time by, a 2-minute 15-second lap time that last time around. But I wonder real quick if we could actually get the track map up right here, just to show the viewers at home how big of a gap that number 5 has. Now, obviously, he's the leader right now, so he is heading around, I believe that is turns 13 and 14. So you can just see him right now heading through those corners. as he heads around. He's the little green circle dot right there, heading through. And second place is so far back. I believe Brody Hanna is all the way down that straightaway. Yeah, and he's under fire right now from Steve Hollingsworth, who right now Brody's doing a really good job. But these two, they're going to be duking it out for the second position. Steven tried to look down to the inside right now, but he's going to lock it up right here. Nice entry by Brody Hanna there in the number 23. Easily rolls through the apex, hits it perfectly. And Stephen Hollingsworth right now is probably just screaming, thinking to himself, wow, man, I really want this second place. But those lap fresher tires play a big difference here at these road courses. Brody Hanna pitted last on lap 20. Steve Hollingsworth pitted last on lap number 19.
Yeah, it's such a massive difference here. And that same lap, the 24, was passed by the 23 going through the S's. And then the 24 there of Hollingsworth tried to make that pass on the back half of the track and just could not complete it. And now Brody Hanna is setting sail about a second advantage over that 24 Steven as they come through turn 20 to end lap 22, heading through, or to start the lap 23, which is putting them about 14 laps left in this race, or 15 rather. So with that being said, I think we're going to kick it over to picture-in-picture mode one last time for you guys. Stay tuned. We'll be back after a few short messages. And back to full screen coverage once again of the Martin Sports Truck Series here, as we are currently on lap number 24. 14 laps remaining in the fifth race of the season here at Circuit of the Americas. Actually, I think it's race 6. I do apologize. We've had in the Truck Series 5 different winners in 5 different races. And Talon Smith is looking to make that 6 for 6. He's currently now up to a 45-second advantage I remember, like I said earlier in the broadcast, if you were tuned in earlier, we saw this last season at Sonoma, and the guy who was leading 25 seconds crashed it with a handful of laps to go. I don't want to jinx Talon, but it very well could not be over yet. But we've had absolutely zero issues with this 5 truck throughout this entire race, conserving the tires at the same time, running the fastest lap time just a handful of laps to go. So that truck is on a set of rails that nobody else has seemed to find. Brody Hanna does pass Steve Hollingsworth during that commercial break, I think, as well. Moves him up to second place. He's that guy 45 seconds back. Stephen Hollingsworth sitting in third with almost 47 seconds out that last time by. Going back to the chats, Coaster fan Leo, I know you said you're rooting for Smith. I think your pick at this point is locked and loaded, but once again, we'll have to wait for 13 more laps to figure that one out as Talon's coming down the hill through turn 10, headed toward 11. Just such a clean line this guy is running all around the track. No pressure at all around him. Just hits the apex, hits the braking perfectly, heading down the long straight. And yeah, this guy is just on a whole different zip code.
Yeah, I tend to have the commentators curse jinx, but it looks like Talon Smith right now, like we just said, is in a zip code of his own. I don't think anything is going to happen to him. I think the worst case scenario for him, if he were to lose this race, probably is if possibly maybe his internet went out. Let's not hope that on Talon, but obviously it would make this race very, very interesting. We had a little debate this last time when we went to commercial. I said about 1 minute and 12 seconds, I think, that he would have a gap over Brody Hanna. I think, Jeremy, you said it was around, you said 52 seconds, and I think our producer Dustin said 1 minute and 16, which I thought was a stretch, but I did say 1 minute and 12. So we will have to see the whole what the final gap is going to be to second come the end of this race, because Talon Smith has been so lights out all night.
My guess was 55.3. I'm guessing even down to the 10th. We'll have to see if that holds true. I know you talked about not wanting to cause a curse or a situation for the 5, but if you do remember 2 nights ago, that person that Talon blocked that wrecked a big chunk of the field, that person that he blocked was that 23 who's on your screen right now in second place. So I think if the 23 was listening in, he'd probably be like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. I think his internet needs to have a glitch or something and give me the race lead. I'm sure he'd be just fine with that. But all jokes aside, Brody just, he's hanging in. He's got a 3-second lead over second place, or third place rather. So just, doing his thing right now. No pressure around. All the lap trucks that to this point have been just given tons of room. They're even driving through the grass in some instances. So good to see the respect out there, even when it's mentally challenging. We're over an hour into this event. When everyone's so spaced out, it's just you get in your head and you start thinking about other things because it's so not boring, but it's so routine to go around these corners with no one around you, and sometimes you just have a mental lapse and miss a corner and that kind of thing. So this is the gritty time. You have to just keep yourself in check, make sure you hit your mark so you don't lose your track position. And you got 12 more laps to do that.
Yeah, and I tell you what, who really doesn't want to have a mental check himself is Steve Hollingsworth, because when we went to that side-by-side for the final time, man, he was so sideways going through the corners, and we all screamed when it happened because I thought he was just going to absolutely lose it. He has been all over the track tonight, but he's been maintaining in that top 3 for a majority of the night. I will say, if there is one battle that I would love and pray and hope to see before the end of this race, is I want to see that man Tyler Brown, that number 00. He has been so fast, right now sitting P5. If he catches Steve Hollingsworth and obviously passes Richie Coy, because that's the driver who does separate the 24 and the 00, Tyler Brown has been a super fun driver to watch tonight. I would enjoy to see Tyler pass Richie Coy and get up to Stephen Hollingsworth if that is at all possible. But obviously the gap is so huge between Tyler and Stephen. But it would be super fun to see those guys duke it out like they were just a handful of laps ago, Jeremy.
Tyler Brown that time through turn 11 exit just really kicked that truck sideways. And I was really hoping to see that 00 catch the 24 because they were putting on such an awesome race before the pits. But At this time, Tyler Brown is just falling off the pace. He came out 10 seconds back and is now 15 seconds back after they pitted about 8 laps ago. So really the race now is going to be between the 24 Hollingsworth and the 19 of Richie Coy, who have about a 4-second separation. But the 19 has been ticking faster laps here. So I think he has a good chance of getting to Hollingsworth to put himself in the top 3 podium position where he can come into the Nerd TV booth and talk to us after the checkered flags. So I would say that's going to be your race to really keep your eye on. Right now, though, on track, we got a decent battle for looks like 5th, 6th, and 7th. That's going to be your 00, Tyler Brown, your number 4, Bobby Terrell, and the 29 of Tommy Schaefer, who are all within a second or so until the 29 just said, hey, I want to take myself out of this race, lock up them right front tires, cause some smoke, and drop myself back a whole second. But the 4 and the 00 right now look like they're going to have a pretty good race, too.
Yeah, and the 4's actually been a little bit quicker than Tyler's. See him right there, dive it down a little bit. He's going to get really wide almost there on the exit of, or in the center, excuse me, of turn 1. He's been a little bit faster last time around. I believe he was about a second. Even that time by, he was about a second faster than Tyler. If there's anybody who can knock Tyler Brown out of this top 5 late in the going, Jeremy, it's definitely going to be Bobby Terrell, because he has been super fast. Closing on the back bumper, you see how good he is through the S's. Tommy Schaefer back behind them in that number 29 machine. As you see, one truck's around in the grass there. Not too sure who that was. Another lap truck there, and it looks to be a silver truck. Not too sure who that is. I believe it might have been 21.
No, the 02 of Josh Mayu, and actually I think that's the second time I have seen him personally in that same section of grass. He was going through the S's here, as you're seeing on the Nerd TV replay, and just goes wide through one of the S sections there. Looks like turn 7 potentially, and just locks it up, backs it up off the surface, puts himself in the grass out of harm's way from trucks that were passing by, which is right there, as you saw him go by there. So great heads up there by the 02 of Mayu to just say, hey, why press the issue? I'm going to get completely clear of these guys, get back on track, and he's 2 laps down. He's the first truck 2 laps down right now. So there's really nothing more than what he could have done just to give tons of space. So once again, respect being shown with these FTSR boys.
Yeah, that's unfortunate too, because it does say on his truck top split setup. So I bet you tonight he might be regretting that, saying after the end of this one, because it has not been a top split setup type race for him tonight. He's struggled. He has been on the struggle bus all night long since we started. Just unfortunate circumstances for that number 02 of Josh Mayu. But it has not been unfortunate circumstances for Talon Smith. He is still holding that lead right now by a significant margin over Brody Hanna. But here's a little battle right here between Stephen Hollingsworth and Richie Coy starting to shape up. Richie's been a little bit closing in on him. He's actually going to dive it in this time by. Might be some contact. No, there won't. Off turn 1, the 24 a little bit loose up on that outside lane. He's able to clear the 19 before they hit turn number 2, as now they're getting ready to hit 3 and 4 and head into the S's. We're going to have to see, Jeremy, if Richie Coy can close that gap, because he looks a lot better than the S's right now than Stephen Hollingsworth in that number 24 at F-150.
Yeah, really excellent racing going on right now. Headed toward the top of the hill here. And the 19 definitely has the preferred grip. He's got the newer tires. He's just trying to bide his time. 19, he is really patient. At any track you go to, and you really have to have your patience here, which is playing dividends for him. Don't press the issue. He's going to dive it in deep, though, into turn 11, makes that passing corner happen. And he does it with ease, able to just really throw it in there, cut off the 24. Not close, just enough to, make sure the 24 doesn't progress his position there. You see the 17 go to the bottom right there on your screen. He's going to stay clear of these guys. The 24 Hollingsworth gets the draft down the backstretch, if you want to call it, but does not make the pass effort because he knows the 19 is just that much faster. Going through turn 12, and the 19 actually overshoots the corner exit. It's going to put these guys back to side by side. Hollingsworth is like, all right, you're going to make a mistake. I'm going to try to take you over now and get my position back in third.
Yeah, that was actually really interesting by Stephen Hollingsworth. I noticed there, Jeremy, when you were saying he got in the draft, because I was just going to say, too, if I were making that call, that he had that slipstream right behind the number 19, down that long back straightaway from 11 to 12. And it was interesting because he could have went for that pass, but I think he kind of expected Richie Coy right there to maybe overshoot the corner because maybe Richie thought in his head, Steven's going to go to the bottom here. He's going to have the run. I'm going to have to give him a little bit more room. And the 24 kind of outplayed him right there, but obviously the benefit of the doubt went to Richie Coy right there. But he's kind of just struggling right now, a little bit off corner as you see him right there, though. Had a good exit. But right now, the battle's going to be for that final spot on that podium. Richie Coy and Stephen Hollingsworth showing a good show right here to these virtual fans and race fans watching at home on Nerd TV here with just 9 laps to go from Circuit of the Americas.
And I think my 55.3 is going to be thrown out the window here as Brody Hanna is 52.2 out. So he's got 3 seconds left, and he's about losing a second a lap. So I think that the 1 minute 12-second mark might be a little more reachable. We'll see if as these laps do continue down, as 8.5 laps to go for that number 5, just on a whole other mission. But yeah, the 19 is starting to pull away from the 24 after making that pass a lap ago at this point. Tyler Brown unable to really make any ground up. He gained a second, but that 00's got a lot of handling issues through the S's now, and that truck is all over the place. A lot of right to left where you don't want to see it there. And right behind him, you have a good battle with the 4 of Bobby Terrell and the 29 of Tommy Schaefer, who have still not left each other here. 29, I think, overall is slightly faster than Bobby, but he keeps making little mistakes. Right now, this is a great opportunity. We'll see if he does anything through turn 11. Looks like he's going to not try it. Bobby actually plays a little defense there going through turn 11. Apex, the 29, heavy tire spin off the corner exit there. You saw the wheel work there looking in the helmet cam of Tommy Schaefer. It's going to back him up about a half a second here as they head off into turn number 12.
Yeah, these guys, Jeremy, their tires are screeching just as much as they were before that first set of green flag pit stops, which was obviously the only set of green flag pit stops that we did have. But you see Tommy Schaefer right now. Good exit right there. You see him upshifting now. He's going to head through these corners. Wow, he's cranking that wheel practically 90 degrees from where the orange strip is, where it does center the wheel. Man, Tommy Schaefer just really overdriving the corners right now, which is unfortunate because he was catching Bobby Terrell right there big time going through the S's, and you see him right there getting a little loose. But Bobby Terrell, Jeremy, he might just catch Tyler Brown and knock him outside the top 5. And maybe Richie Coy and Steve Hollingsworth could have a good battle here too late in the going with just 8 laps to go.
Yeah, I think the 29, if he can rail off a couple of solid laps without any single mistake, I think he's going to be able to pass Bobby Terrell no problem. And I think he's even going to pass Tyler Brown, who has a lot of handling issues himself. I think he can pass both these guys, but he has to stay focused, keep his head down, and just tick off the laps. You don't need to overshoot it. You know your truck's a little faster. Just stay out of the mental game, keep your head clear, and I think you got it. Right now, Bobby Terrell's catching a little bit closer to that 00 Tyler Brown. They're staying within 1 second or less of each other here as they're entering through the S's on lap 30. 8 laps to go for these boys, going through 4 and 5 right now. Keeping it clean through the S's. The 00 actually looking a lot cleaner than what he had in previous laps through here. And he's able to advance a little bit, or at least maintain pace on the 4 truck. So you just got to keep yourself clean, and we're going to kick it over to the Nerd TV replay. Looks like our producer Dustin has caught a little bit of action here from the 17 of Steve Loomis going up the hill for turn number 1. And it looks like this guy just shoots it really wide. Not sure, because the 22 of Blackner looked like he did the same thing and then said, oh, looks like you let me pass. All right, thank you very much. So 17 giving tons of respect. But as you're on the replay there, Jason, the 29 of Schaefer, all of a sudden back to the 4 of Bobby Terrell. Looks like Bobby had a little bit of a tough 9, 10, and 11 there, and is able to allow the 29 back in.
Yeah, the 29 right here actually going into turn number 12, Jeremy might be able to close the gap big time. You see him right now on those rumble strips. You don't want to get on those too much when you're downshifting because the transition back from the strips onto that pavement can be troublesome. You can easily wheel spin because of the different surface transition. It's like going from really grippy surface with super glue on it back, or maybe Velcro for an example, back onto like ice, for example. That's what it's like driving on those curves when you have worn out tires. You saw how much ground he was able to gain on Bobby Terrell there, heading into turn number 12. And this is shaping up to be a good battle too, Jeremy, because they are catching that 00 of Tyler Brown. But obviously, everybody is stronger in all different sections and sectors of the racetrack. So this should be a very interesting battle here as we head on to 7 laps to go. Keep an eye on these 3 guys to try to knock somebody off a position for a top 5, because Tyler Brown right now has a mirror full of Bobby Terrell and Tommy Schaefer here with 7 to go.
Yeah, we're going to keep the camera focused on these guys. This is really the only battle on the track. Heating up really well as the 29 again locks up that right front tire, this time going into turn 1, continuing to make mistakes. And that's what's going to cost him from passing the 4 and passing the 00. He just does not need to overdrive the corners. He has the faster truck. We've seen this now for the past 5 laps. He can do it. He just has to drop the mistakes. The 00 going really slow through the S's, backing up the number 4. The 29 all of a sudden back in the picture once again, virtue of the 00 having some problems with handling. Going up to through 8 and then turns 9 here. Right on the back bumper of the 4 is that 29 Tommy Schaefer. He might have a great chance here through the braking zone of 11. Let's see if he cuts it down low to try to make the pass. He gets the nose down there. Bobby's going to play a little bit of defense, but it's not going to be enough. Tommy Schaefer locks up the left front that time. A little bit of wheel hop on the apex, but cleans the pass. The 29 Schaefer advances now into the 7th position, or 6th position. Let's see if he can hold that here, going through the back stretch to 12.
Yeah, well, Germany, you best bet your bottom dollar, too. He just lost a lot of tire right there. As you see the 4 of Bobby Terrell looking to attack again, but here goes Schaefer so deep into that corner. Definitely was probably killing his right front and rears, because you see how slippy and slidey he is on exits of every single part and sector of this racetrack. And you see the 00 of Tyler Brown, man, you might as well put these guys on ice skates, because they're practically ice skating around this 3.4 mile road course here in Austin, and it just is like they're on dirt as well, because unfortunately these guys only one time did they pit, so now these tires are screeching. It's practically a dirt road course race. You might as well call this one of those trophy truck races. I believe that's what it is when they run on dirt. I think the Deegans used to run those too, and you just see how loose these guys are out of every single corner. But Tommy Schaefer, a guy who I thought was going to struggle a little bit more than the 2 of these guys, he is right on the back tailgate of the number 00 there as he heads down the front straightaway. He's going to look to the inside. He's been so close. He's just been diving in so deep. Here he goes. Dive bomb to the inside of the racetrack. Might be some contact. No, there won't. Side by side off turn number 1. The red and blue truck. This reminds me, oh my gosh, this reminds me of the Halo days when you would see the red versus the blue Spartans. It's practically what this is right now. They're side by side to the S's in the 29 of Tommy Schaefer. Bravo to him. Passes 2 trucks in just half a lap, and that top 5 could be a spot for him to take.
He eliminated some of the issues he was having a few laps prior. The 00 got loose quite a few times, checked up the 4, and allowed the 29 to quickly zoom by both of these guys, as he's now in that 5th position. In this league, they keep their stats. They have all their stats listed on their website, including top 5. So it's just one little notch in that column. As he takes it wide through 11 with a tire lockup, allowing the 00 Tyler Brown to now get back to the inside, almost making contact as they try to merge back onto the track together. Dead heat side by side as they try to go through turn number 12 that way. And speaking of the stats, I want to give a shout out to our Sim Racing Points friends. Sim Racing Points is an all-inclusive league points management system that allows owners and admins to the ability to completely track league stats and points with a simple upload. Sim Racing Points does not stop there. For the avid webmasters, they allow creation of custom widgets for any website to fully display points, results, and more with an easy upload of the export from iRacing. So just a few clicks of the mouse and you can have any league looking professional and looking clean, whether if you want full page layouts or widgets or anything in between. These guys got your back at a really good price point. So head over to simracingpoints.com, check out their pricing and packaging, or if you want to go to this league that you're watching, FTSR.net, they utilize this software and it can show everything that the software has to offer in real time. You're watching it. You can go right after this race and check them out. You'll see everything updated right away, um, without having to really dig deep because it's all displayed on a nice, really clean looking page, fully updated. As now we go into about, was it 5 laps to go now, and the 29 got passed by the 00 on the backstretch side of the track, and now the 29 looks like deja vu again, but this time the 29 cannot take it, getting a little too bumpy on the curb there on the top of the hill at turn 1, allowing the 00 Tyler Brown to go about a second advantage now as they go through the S's.
Yeah, man, I was just going to say, Jeremy, that 29 has been known for the dive bombs all race long. Unfortunately, just a dive bomb gone wrong for him, but he was able to keep that position going into turn number 1. And I think Richie Coy possibly just went off track a little bit there. He seems to be fine, but you can see right here on the Nerd TV replay, what really got that 29 loose, you saw right there. If we could maybe take another look at the replay, you saw the 29 heading into turn number 1. He dipped all 4 tires below that line right there. That's what killed that truck's momentum, because you saw the truck hop over those curbs, the transition, the way the truck slams back down onto the ground. The tires aren't used to it. They're still getting ready to grip that asphalt, and unfortunately he put the power down, and that's what it was able to lose that position for him. But he does maintain himself back just outside the top 5 in 6, but he's still chasing down Tyler Brown, Jeremy. This is still the battle to watch for on the racetrack here in the closing laps.
5th, 6th, and 7th all within a blanket's throw still, as we got 4.5 laps to go here. And yeah, that 29, Tommy Schaefer, if he even got a yield penalty from iRacing for cutting the corner, the way he got so loose and was able to save it, he checked himself up so much that they probably limited that yield time right away. But 29 throws it deep into the turns 15 and 16. A little wide on that corner exit, allows the 00 to get a little breathing room here. But the 29 is just so much faster than Tyler Brown is, as they're going to come through turns 18 here. The 29 makes a really interesting cut there to the outside of... Oh, the 00, Tyler Brown gets really loose again. As you said earlier, they are on ice skates, and that is for sure. These tires are basically down to the cord, and the 29 makes another mistake and almost allowed the 00 to cut the crossover there through 20. Cannot make it happen. And 29 of Tommy Schaefer once again has control of the 5th place. Can he keep the mistakes down to the minimum, as Bobby Terrell throws it deep into turn 1, locks it up, pushes the 00 maybe a little wider than expected. Tire spin, but they're still going straight. Bobby's going to try to make that pass clear, but nope. The 00 is going to have the preferred lane going through that first corner, but then Bobby says, hello, I'm now on the bottom of turn 4. It's mine.
I tell you what, Jeremy, I was hollering right there when you were making that call coming off the final corner in turn 20, coming back to the line, because that 00, man, he's so loose right there going through the S's. Oh my goodness, Tyler Brown is on ice skates, man. I would just bring it into the pits at this point if I were him, man. It looks like he's about to blow a tire practically, but he almost wiped out the 29 of Tommy Schaefer going into turn number 20. You can just see from the virtual eyes of Tyler Brown from his helmet cam here. You see the rear view camera, or the rear view mirror, excuse me, and you see his dash, you see the engine. Oh, look at him. My goodness, this is so exciting. I love watching these guys and the way that they craft their road course races. You see right here, we look at inside his cockpit here from the passenger side. You see how bumpy it is down that straightaway. Here he goes. He's going to be downshifting right here, heading into turn number 12 in just a second, slowing it up. Look at how loose he's going to get. Look at him. He's already loose into the corner. Super loose. He's dirt tracking it, man. He might as well be a super late model driver here tonight, because that's practically what he's been all night. I can't see, though, Tyler Brown making up that ground here with just 3 laps to go, trying to catch Bobby Terrell and Tommy Schaefer. This looks like to be Tommy Schaefer's top 5, unless Bobby Terrell has something to say about it, as the 00 almost goes around right there, man. These guys are on ice skates.
Excellent camera work there by Dustin, utilizing the cockpit 360 camera. Look at this guy. Every time he goes into the corner, the wheel is pointed the opposite direction. He's taking tips from, the Cars movie there, where you got to turn right to go left, and vice versa. Every single corner, you can see that tape there on the wheel, just turning the opposite direction. This truck is just all over the map. This guy's got to be full of sweat as he's coming to 3 laps to go. I'm sure he is cheering for this race to be over with. as the 14 of Lane Allen, who have not talked about, who won here last year, is now going to pass him because the 00 just has no grip whatsoever left in those tires. It's going to allow the 14 of Lane Allen to advance to
Overshoots
second
it.
place. Overshoots it by a mile. Is going to give that position back up. Does not touch the sand, thankfully. Able to keep on the asphalt, but the way the 14's running compared to the 00 of Tyler Brown, I think Lane Allen's got a perfect chance to get back around him within this same exact lap. He's already to the back bumper of him going through the S's. There is just no rubber whatsoever. They're on the virtual cords on this thing. He's just, I don't know how he's even keeping on the track. He's basically drifting every corner.
Yeah, if I were Tyler Brown, let's just say he were to get a top 3, I would love to ask him for a post-race question what his tire wear was right there at the end of this run. But you see right now a driver, like you just said before, and I'm going to say it, we have not talked about him all night. He goes for the dive here, heading into turn number 11, downhill, hard braking zone, downshifting, hopefully. No, he's going to lose it. He saves it. My goodness, that's 2 times, man. And the thing is about Steven Allen here, Jeremy, he doesn't really have to push the truck that hard. He gains up to Tyler Brown so quickly. So if I were him, I would just really try to be easy on exit and really get into the corners, because you could already see how much time he's gaining on that 00, even after overshooting and getting loose there into the corner. But Steven Allen, we haven't really talked about him all night, sitting 8th, because obviously those top 6 guys have really been lights out all night long. But here he is, the defending race winner. Here he is sitting inside the top 10. Great night, looking to try to get a top 7 position here if he can get around Tyler Brown in these last few laps, because he's more than likely going to get to his bumper again.
I'm super entertained by these, but we do have a battle for second place. Teammates Brody Hanna and Richie Coy side by side, essentially exiting turn number 1 at the top of the hill. Brody defended the position. They both got a little sideways coming through the apex there, and now Brody Hanna has to defend over his really fast teammate. Long run of the 19 has always been stellar. Every single track that he goes to, always can count on him to be there late in the race, and this is the case here. We are just under 2 laps left remaining in this event. Just under 1 minute of behind Talon Smith, which is crazy to say all by itself, but it is true. Just under 1 minute behind that 5 machine. But this is the battle for second. This is turning out to be a really good race now for multiple positions, as the 00 and the 14 kind of figure out what they're trying to do. The 23 gets heavy onto the braking there. It's going to allow the 19 to come through, but somehow the 23 straightened up early and was able to get the gas down, so he's going to get a good launch off the corner.
Yeah, he is going to get a good launch off the corner, but this is the back straightaway where Richie Coy, even though the 23 was able to gather it back up, Richie Coy was able to have a much... Oh my goodness, what a juke to the inside for the 23 of Brody Hanna. I think he wanted the dominant track position there. Going into the corners, we have a big gaggle of cars up in front of them. That's the 17 right there. He's off track. That could have been big there for those 2 trucks. But the 19 there up on the outside lane, he wanted that inside lane. The 23 would not let him have it, but this is shaping up to be a good battle here. Talon Smith, though, already taking that white flag with 1 lap to go here at COTA, and it looks like it's going to be a battle, but for second and third here on the podium between Brody Hanna and Richie Coy. Just hopefully they don't take each other out, Jeremy.
This is the battle for sure. 19's definitely faster. He's got 21 corners left to figure out how to get around his teammate here, which I think if he can get through turn 20 like he did last lap, he's going to have a great chance up the hill. Gets through the corner, but 23 actually gets a little bit better of a launch that time. He's going to be able to secure the position at least through turn 1. 54 is most likely going to give leeway to these guys, as he knows they're coming up strong. They've already gave the verbal signals to one another, saying, hey, I'm coming up on you. You should probably let us go. We got a really good race right now. Don't want to mess this up. But as these guys do turn 1, Talon Smith headed to turn 12.
Yeah, and Talon Smith has been dominant all night long, Jeremy. I mean, practically led every single lap of this race if you were to not even count green flag pit stops. Well, honestly, yeah, no, do count those, because not to mention the fact this guy maintained the lead after the pits. It's like the amount of time he put, I believe it was on Tyler Brown. He just so happened to put a good enough gap between him and Tyler Brown there when those green flag pit stops did happen, to where he came out about 2 to 3 seconds ahead of the field. But Talon Smith is looking to come around these last few corners, Jeremy, and he's just going to put on an absolute clinic here tonight at COTA. Like I said, that song going to be dropping Friday. I dominated at COTA, and here comes Talon Smith coming to the flag.
Coming through the final corner, the Martin Sports winning moment is when Talon Smith entered the server tonight, coming across the line, 1 minute advantage, just over 1 minute, as he just completely leads it from start to finish. Just an amazing drive. What a comeback. Coming from that controversial block on Monday, I think he makes up for it tonight a little bit as he just completely dominates the rest of the field as they were going back to second and third place now, who are just now coming through turns 15 into 16. The race is already over, at least for the leader, and these guys are, still got 4 corners left as Brody Hanna did get passed by the 19 and then locks it up. Brody Hanna trying a little too hard there, trying to make up some time. Unable to do so. It's going to allow Richie Coy to probably finish second here as 23 now having some huge handling problems getting through these final few corners. Coming through turns 19 now. Whole second separates him and his teammate. That guy right behind him in the 54, he is not for position. That is Rick Webb. A lap down. 19, Richie Coy is going to take home second place. Richie Coy looks like he's going to cross the line in third. You go back a little bit further. The number 24 is the next one to be crossing the line. His race is finally going to be over. He has been out of shape for the past few laps for sure. Coming through lap 20 for him. And actually, there's a little bit of a check up there. Josh Mayo in the 0-2 gets loose and loses it in the final corner of his race as they come across the line there. And these guys are still crossing the line as Talon Smith has almost done his whole parade lap.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show you the amount of talent that Talon Smith had. You might as well call him Talent Smith here tonight. I'll probably use that in post-race with him because he had all the talent here tonight on the road course. You see other drivers coming across the line. Bobby Terrell, nice job inside the top 10, just shy of a top 5. He'll come home 6th. Stephen Allen comes home 7th. That's last year's winner in that number 14 Bass Pro Shops car. Tyler Brown, a driver who I was hoping would have gotten to all those guys up at the front and had some more battles. He'll come home 8th. And Michael Blackner silently comes home 9th. Tony Solari comes home 10th. Cody McKinney comes home 11th. And we're waiting for the rest of the field to come by. But like you said, Jeremy, Talon Smith is more than probably like halfway done with his parade lap here. And he'll come down to the start-finish line, probably burn it down or park it.
Nick Goebel and TJ Bartell, the last ones to cross the line. That was for position there, I do believe. And they crossed the line 12th and 13th, which is the last guys on the lead lap to do so. So it is over. Everyone has crossed the line. Talon Smith is back around the track. He's going to do his victory burnouts here, leading this race from practice start time to the checker flags of race time. Did not lose anything on this track. And well-deserved burnout as he's going to burn what's very little left of them Goodyear tires. As we're going to go down the complete finishing order here for the Echo Park 100. Talon Smith takes home the checker flag. Richie Coy is going to finish second. Brody Hanna finishes in third. Stephen Hollingsworth fourth. Tommy Schaefer fifth. Bobby Terrell sixth. Lane Allen seventh. Tyler Brown eighth. Michael Blackner ninth. And Tony Solari rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, and then to round out your top 20, Cody McKinney comes home just shy of a top 10. He'll come home 11th. Nick Goebel comes home 12th. TJ Bartell finishes 13th. Brian Bliss 14th. JP Burns, after a rough night for him earlier on, he'll come home inside the top 15. And then you have Alan Duranko. He'll come home 16th. Kyle Milliken, a driver who was so fast in Atlanta, like I talked about just this past Monday. He'll come home 17th. Gulton Gum comes home in the 18th spot. And you have 19th there. That is Rick Webb. And then rounding out the top 20, that is Ryan Chapman in the number 27, finishing a lap down.
Chad Curran 21st, Joshua O'Connor 22nd. 23rd place belongs to Steve Angie. 24th, Josh Mayu. 25th place, Stephen Loomis. 26th place is Maxwell Solsch. 27th, Sherwood Williford. 28th, Joseph McKinney. Timothy Stubblefield 29th. Round out the top 30, Brandon Elder. 31st, Casey McMullen. 32nd, Colby Mice. And Justin Dilt, who did not start this race, does round out the 33 truck field for the 37 laps here at Circuit of the Americas. We're going to take our only full screen commercial break. We're going to wound up the top 3 and we'll have a word with him here shortly. And welcome back to full screen coverage for the Nerd TV's broadcast of the Full Throttle Sim Racing Martin Sports Truck Series. As we're going to start the Martin Sports post-race show, we're going to talk to our top three and see what their thoughts were of this 37-lap grueling race here at the 20-turn Circuit of the Americas. First up, third place finisher, 23, Mr. Brody Hanna. Do you have a copy?
Gotcha, man.
What a race for you guys. Fury Motorsports, all in all, pretty impressive stuff, all within the top 10. So congratulations for the team effort there. You and Richie taking home third and second, respectively. So just walk us through. I know Tony usually makes the setups here on the road course, but you guys seem to have the better hand on the truck. So what did the prep look like coming in tonight?
Well, we made a little bit of a caster change, honestly, was the biggest thing to kind of get the trucks handling the way we wanted to. But really, honestly, just running laps, getting familiar with the track, making sure we lay down a solid qualifying time, be towards the front with no cautions is important. And honestly, just keep it on the track. I mean, that's that's the name of the game. But yeah, I mean, it was a good night. It was a good solid night. Kind of a quiet night out front. I got to go back and look and see what else happened. But yeah, except for catching those lap cars there at the end. There was three of them in a group. That kind of shook things up a little bit.
Yeah, Bernie, nice job tonight coming home P3 on the podium, last driver to do so. I noticed too, right towards the end of the race, I don't remember if you got it earlier, but as far as I'm concerned, I want to say you made contact later on in the race. You just mentioned some lap trucks. Is that why Richie was able to really kind of pull away from you right there at the end? Did you maybe get some contact with lap trucks? Just curious by chance.
No, I made contact with Richie. We were racing hard there at the end. We were joking about it, having a little fun there. But yeah, I kind of slipped up on the corner before. He got a run on me out of the corner before the long straight. He got in front of me, so I kind of drove it down into the corner, bumped him out of the way, and that's all happening in front of the or behind the lap cars too. It was chaos. But yeah, I mean, we had fun. It was a fun little battle. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Uh, first and second among the non-aliens, so that's good.
Yeah, no kidding. And we thought we had a stage break to start, and then we realized there wasn't going to be one, and things got really strung out. So whenever there's a little battle like that, especially toward the end, we really hone in on it, and it provided some good content for sure to close out this race tonight. But once again, congratulations. Floor is yours. Who would you like to thank before we let you go tonight?
Hey, thanks, guys. I got to thank all the guys on Fury for working on the setup, kind of just running laps, getting familiar. I usually look forward to coming to these road courses because we usually have something to play with. So I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys up in the booth. I know there was a little bit of mix up of who was going to be in the booth tonight. So appreciate you guys being here and being able to cover that. I know we got somebody new next week, so appreciate you guys being here. Got to thank everybody out there on the racetrack for what they do, for showing up. We apparently had a pretty good race. I didn't hear anything really going on the radio, so that's a good sign. And unfortunately, I forgot this last week, so I really got to give a shout out to Martin Sports for sponsoring the series. Um, Scott Martin out there doing a great job with his company. We appreciate him coming on, being able to sponsor the series, and hopefully getting his name out there a little bit. But other than that, guys, get a good night for Fury.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And congratulations once again on bringing home third place. We'll catch you on Monday.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. And that was the 23 machine of Brody Hanna. He referred there as next week. We will not be here for this coming Wednesday, as we're taking a 1 week off, and then we'll be back after the following week. But we're going to now bring in second place here, Richie Coy, who finished right in front of his teammate there. Had a little fun battle toward the end of the race here with Brody Hanna. Richie, got a copy?
Yep. What's up, nerds?
What's up, man? Congratulations on bringing home second place. At one point, I thought maybe you'd be finishing fourth or fifth, but knowing you, that long run finally kicks in every single time, and you passed a couple guys, and it came down to you and your teammate. Walk us through that battle there toward the end.
Yeah, I thought I thought I had him early on in the race, and then I spun in, I don't know, that little section in the back, and it put me way back to like 9th or 10th again, and I had to work my way back forward again, which I didn't think I was going to. I didn't think I was going to get up anywhere near the top three, much less get to second. So yeah, I caught Brody at the end. I was catching him there towards the end, and when I caught him, I'm like, this is not going to be easy. And I wanted to make sure I was able to get by him clean, and I was able to do that, I guess, on the last lap there, going into 11 maybe. And then, yeah, I don't think he's, and I get it, he's not happy about losing second on the last lap. I can totally understand that for sure there. But, it was a good battle, and we came home second and third for Fury, so that's a good result for the team.
Yeah, Richie, you guys had one heck of a battle. We were hollering for you guys to keep on going there late in the going. I will say, though, towards the end of that race, or towards the middle of that race, we were sitting here waiting for that caution to come out. And then I explained to Jeremy, I think that maybe the league possibly decided to take away that stage caution due to, obviously, the actual top three divisions in real NASCAR. They obviously took away the stage cautions for these road courses, and I believe that was probably the same case here tonight. If you guys were to have that caution here tonight, do you think any of you guys would have had anything for Talon here tonight?
No, he was amazingly fast tonight. We were all running for second there. But yeah, you're right. We had the stage, and the stage will be, I think, lap 12, the end of lap 12, but no stage caution tonight because of the road course. But yeah, nobody had anything for Talon. He was in his own planet tonight. We were all, like I said, racing for second.
Yeah, he's just on a whole different mission, a whole different zip code. And but congratulations there, Richie. Top two, closing in the points battle a little bit. Ryan Chapman had an off night, so kind of closing everyone just a little bit to bring that championship hopes a little closer to some people as we're approaching halfway through the season. But the floor is yours. Who would you like to thank before we let you go this evening?
Fury Motorsports as usual. Again, a lot of work went into this setup tonight. Bobby got 6th tonight, and Tony got 10th, I think. So all in all, good night. All four of us are in the top 10. So nice with that. I guess next week we go to dirt, so I can't wait for that. That'll be another fun week that might shake up the point standings. But thanks to you guys for coming in the booth and doing what you do. Thanks to everybody who watches. Thanks to Tony's mom and dad. And yeah, thanks everyone.
Yeah, appreciate the kind words, man. And we'll catch you on Monday.
All right, man.
Now it's your second place finisher, Mr. Richie Coy, in the 19 Martin Sports F-150. Now it's time to bring in your race winner, Kia Victory Lane for Operation Motorsports, Omnia Motorsports driver, Mr. Talon Smith. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on that completely dominant win from practice lap 1 all the way to the checker flags here tonight. just well-earned victory for that number 5 Toyota Tundra. Uh, what a comeback! Monday, you had a good shot at the win, had a a block that kind of messed up your night, and then you come here tonight and you just completely earned that victory ever since the beginning of practice. Such a dominant truck. Walk us through your preparation coming into this evening.
Makani provided a real good setup for me. Obviously, Omni allowed me to drive the truck for this season, which is real cool for them. Lots of practice laps.
Yeah, you talk about lots of practice laps talent. I was just saying beforehand during the broadcast, you might as well legally change your name to Talent Smith after that one, my friend, because you certainly were in your own zip code here tonight. And I mean, I said you were going to be dropping a song this Friday, jokingly called "I Dominated at COTA" as well. So I'm expecting that to actually come about. But man, you had that issue at Atlanta. You were so fast at the front this past Monday. And now you come into the Truck Series. Obviously tonight, completely dominated. Put on your own clinic here tonight. Practically, it was all about the Talent Smith show. How do you take tonight and transfer it on to the rest of the season, my friend?
We have real fast trucks that Makani provides, and I'm just hoping I can prove to the others what I can do after Monday.
Well, if you keep that performance up, I think that's going to be no question there. As we gained some points, everyone did on Ryan Chapman, who's 49 coming into this race, 49 up on everybody. That brings him back in. We're just approaching halfway through the season, so there's still plenty of time to get up there and try to prove what you're worth. But congratulations once again, man. Just from start to finish, this was your race. This was the Talon Smith 100. The floor is yours, though. Who would you like to thank before we let you go tonight?
Obviously, again, Omni and Ryan for allowing me to drive their charter this season, and just Makani providing great setups for the trucks.
Well, appreciate the good words there, and go ahead and celebrate with the team for the job well done this evening. We'll catch you on Monday.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. And that was your number 5, Talon Smith, from start to finish. It was his race, Jason, all the way through. I'm kind of curious. You posed the question, what's that do for him the rest of the season? I think that provides some good momentum, don't you think?
Yeah, well, obviously, Jeremy, not every race is going to be a road course race, so he's not going to have those same opportunities like he did here tonight. Like I had said, some guys, this is their bread and butter. Other guys, this is the black licorice for them. They absolutely hate it. I myself am a guy who's kind of in the middle. I love road course racing, but obviously there's people like Town, which obviously in the iRacing community, they call them aliens because they're just totally from their own world. This is just, like I said, their bread and butter, and Talon was just absolutely lights out tonight. And I was close. A minute and 5 seconds ended up being the gap. So I was close. Give it a few more seconds, maybe a few more laps, he would have got there. But I mean, yeah, after tonight, Talon, what he did here tonight, he's gonna have to take this and transfer it. Obviously, it's just a mental thing. It brings you confidence. You're like, man, he just talked about it. He wants to prove to these guys here that he belongs, that he can stay. And he said thanks for the setups. Thanks to his team for letting him drive this chartered truck here tonight. So which makes him locked into pretty much every race if he shows up. So if I were him, just take what he learned from Atlanta, after that bad block, and then he comes here tonight, absolutely dominates, leads pretty much every single lap, I believe he did, in a sense. And, after tonight, he's just got to continue to push forward and show these guys what he's made of, because I think he's going to be one to reckon with here this season for sure.
Yeah, he was short on his words during that interview there, but you could tell the emotion in his voice when he said, like, he has to prove his worth to these guys. Like, he can tell he felt bad about that. And so the rest of the season, that's going to be his opportunity to shine and show exactly what he's worth. But you show that by your speed on the track and the respect around others. I think if he keeps clean the rest of the time and can finish consistently in the top 5, I think that's going to erase anything possible that people have to think negatively about it. And, I think he's going to set himself up for a great season 2 coming up later this year for the Full Throttle Sim Racing boys. But it is our time to close out the show. I'm going to thank all of our partners one last time before we let you guys go. Starting in 2006, Full Throttle Sim Racing became a thing. So almost 20 years now in the making, FTSR has been here. So if you want to be part of this action, out of their 4 series they offer each week, including the 2 that we broadcast, visit FTSR.net. Get registered today. Mach 1 Performance, race fabrication shop that has produced champions and winners of all sorts of racing divisions. Find them at Facebook at facebook.com/Mach 1 Performance. Sim Racing Points is your league points management system that allows you to completely track your league stats and more with one simple upload. Find them at simracingpoints.com. Martin Sports, top quality apparel to make you look stylish and feel comfortable. See the whole apparel product line at martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag, get your notifications a fraction of a second faster without ever leaving your focus behind the racing action. Visit iRacingIFlag.com for full product line. Butt Kicker, the ultimate feel from a race car into your seat, provided by the Butt Kicker with their haptic response system. You're going to find them at thebuttkicker.com. See their whole product lineup of haptic products for your sim rig. Team Watson Racing Setups. Get quality, professionally built setups for all your asphalt oval needs. Visit teamwatsonatracing.com for pricing and packages. And then lastly, Roasted Gems Coffee. Premium coffee beans roasted just for you. Start your day the right way with coffee from Roasted Gems Coffee. And that's at roastedgems.com to get a taste. Now, we will be here on Monday, 8:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Cup race here at Circuit of the Americas. And then we're going to take a one-race hiatus as our producer, Dustin, his child has to go for some surgery that's pretty intense, so to speak. Got to be there for him. So going to do all the prayers for Ty back there for next Wednesday. And hopefully all the surgery procedures go well and he comes out of that thing, out on the uppity up. But until then, you guys stay safe out there. Get your nerd on.